Okay, let's dive in. There is just this pure cinematic joy, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
That feeling of being caught completely off guard by a movie. You're sitting there, you think you have it all figured out, and then
Bam. The rug is just pulled right out from under you.
it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
And it makes you question everything. Like, how did I miss that? How did they pull that off?
It's the ultimate narrative deception. And a really effective twist. It has to be unpredictable, but it also has to feel earned in hindsight.
Earned. That's the perfect word for it.
It recontextualizes everything you've just seen.
Yeah.
The whole reality of the film just shifts in an instant.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We are cutting through decades of cinema to give you the shortcut, the absolute top 5 mind-blowing movie plot twists of all time.
And we've looked at a ton of sources here, film studies, reviews, audience ratings, to really break down the execution, the originality, and just the lasting impact of these moments.
These aren't just cheap shocks.
No, not at all. These are moments of structural brilliance.
So we do have to say the obvious thing here. We can't really talk about great twists without, well, spoiling them.
It's pretty much unavoidable.
So consider this your official one-time only spoiler warning. If you haven't seen these movies, maybe go watch them first.
Or stick around to find out why they're so foundational to cinema.
All right, let's do this.
Let the countdown begin.
Kicking us off at number 5, we have a film that it completely messes with your head through its very format. Christopher Nolan's 2000 masterpiece, Memento.
This is such a great place to start because the twist isn't just what happens, it's how the story is told.
Right. The setup is so gripping. You've got Leonard, played by Guy Pearce, and he's hunting for the man who murdered his wife.
But he has severe short-term memory loss. He can't make new memories.
So he uses Polaroids, notes, even tattoos on his own body to keep track of clues. And the film is split, right? One timeline in color moving forward, one in black and white moving backward.
And all the while, he keeps telling this story about a man named Sammy Jenkins, who had the same condition and accidentally killed his own wife. It's a cautionary tale.
Okay, so here it comes. A massive spoiler warning for Memento.
The thing is, the entire film is basically a series of twists. Every scene recontextualizes the last one.
But the final huge one happens when those two timelines finally meet, and you find out Leonard already got his revenge. He killed his wife's attacker years ago.
So the whole investigation we've been watching is
a lie. He's been setting himself up to kill other people just to give himself a purpose. And that Sammy Jenkins story,
it was never about Sammy.
it was about him. He killed his own wife. She was testing his condition and he overdosed her on insulin. And then his mind just broke and created this alternate story to cope with the guilt.
And that is why our sources rate its originality so high. The narrative structure is the twist. Nolan makes you experience Leonard's condition. You're just as lost as he is.
It's just genius. The way it layers tragedy on top of this existential terror.
And you realize all those tattoos, those facts he lives by, they're just truths he chose to believe.
Okay, from a twist built on memory, let's move to one built on subjective reality. Number 4, the movie that made M. Night Shyamalan a household name. 1999's The Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah. This is the crown jewel of his career, the one that made everyone call him the master of the twist ending.
The setup is so classic. Bruce Willis plays Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist who's haunted by a violent encounter with a former patient.
And he starts working with this little boy, Cole, who is terrified because he has this secret ability.
He can see dead people. All right, here we go. Spoiler warning. And seriously, if you're one of the 5 people on Earth who doesn't know this twist, get ready.
I still remember the silence in the theater when this dropped.
Me too. The reveal is Dr. Malcolm Crowe is dead the entire time.
The whole film.
He was killed by that patient in the opening scene. He's been a ghost this whole time and had no idea. I was shook. Jaw on the floor.
And what makes it so brilliant and why it hit so hard in 1999 is that it's not just a shock. It's emotionally effective. It completes his entire character arc.
How so?
Well, he thinks he needs to help Cole find peace. But really, he needs to help Cole so that Cole can help him find peace by talking to his wife for him.
And the clues are all there. His wife never speaks directly to him. The rooms are always cold. You just think they're having marital problems.
Exactly. It works because you can go back and watch again and see everything was hidden in plain sight. It's a perfect twist of identity.
And sticking with 1999, which was clearly a huge year for this, we're on to number 3, Fight Club.
Another one from a director who just excels at this kind of thing. David Fincher. Unreliable narrators, unsettling realities. That's his playground.
The premise is iconic. You have this nameless narrator played by Edward Norton. He's an insomniac, totally fed up with his boring consumerist life.
Then he meets Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt at his absolute charismatic peak.
Oh, totally. And they start this underground fight club, a place for regular guys to feel something real. And things, they escalate a lot.
Into a full-blown anti-corporate movement called Project Mayhem.
Okay, spoiler warning. And let me just say, don't talk about it.
There's rule.
The big reveal is that Tyler Durden and the narrator are the same person.
A dissociated personality.
But it's more than that, right? It's like his whole existential crisis is just projected onto the world as this other guy.
Right. And this specific trope, the split personality, it's been done to death. But Fight Club just does it better than almost anyone else, which is why it gets a top rating for twist quality.
It's the details, the little hints and clues, and even like the subliminal flashes of Tyler that Fincher puts in before he even shows up properly.
The visual language is everything. Once you know the twist, you rewatch it and realize Tyler never interacts with anyone unless the narrator's there. He's fighting himself. He's talking to himself.
It redefines the whole movie. It was never about social rebellion. It was about one guy rebelling against himself.
Phenomenal payoff.
All right, moving on to number 2. A twist so legendary, it basically defines cinematic misdirection. From 1995, The Usual Suspects.
This might be the greatest unreliable narrator in the history of the crime thriller. The entire movie is constructed just to make this one final moment hit as hard as possible.
The setup is, it's basically one long interrogation. We're listening to Verbal Kint, who's this like really meek, small-time con man with cerebral palsy.
He's one of only 2 survivors of a massive shootout on a boat, and he's telling the detective this incredibly complex story about how it all happened.
It's all about this legendary, almost mythical criminal mastermind named Kaiser Soze, a figure so terrifying even hardened criminals are scared of him.
And after he tells his whole rambling story, the detective is convinced. He lets Verbal Kint go.
Big mistake. Okay, spoiler warning. That coffee mug is about to become very, very important.
There it is.
Verbal Kint is Kaiser Soze.
The whole time.
The entire elaborate story he told the detective, he made it all up on the spot, using names and places from a bulletin board in the detective's office, a coffee mug from a company in Skokie.
The execution of that final sequence is just perfect. You see Kint walking away, and his limp slowly starts to disappear. He straightens up.
And at the same time, the detective's eyes are darting around the room, putting it all together just seconds too late. The horror on his face.
It's a masterpiece of screenwriting. Christopher McQuarrie won an Oscar for it, and you can see why. We, the audience, we believe Kint's weakness. We trust him.
We fall for it just like the detective does.
It's a twist that manipulates you by using the very conventions of storytelling against you. And that's why it earns its 100% originality rating. Just incredible.
And now, the undisputed number 1. The twist that isn't just the best, it's the one that set the standard for all modern cinematic shocks. Our number 1 pick is Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 masterpiece, Psycho.
This is the cornerstone, the grandfather of the psychological horror thriller. It's been imitated a million times, but never, ever duplicated.
The setup itself is a brilliant piece of misdirection. You think you're watching a heist movie. Marion Crane steals $40,000 and goes on the run.
She ends up at this remote, creepy place, the Bates Motel.
Run by the very awkward, very repressed Norman Bates, who seems completely dominated by his mother. And then in the shower...
She's brutally murdered by what looks like an old woman, his mother.
Okay. Huge spoiler warning. This is the one that changed the game.
And we have to acknowledge the first twist before we even get to the main one.
Right. Killing off your main character, the big movie star Janet Leigh, not even halfway through the movie.
Nobody had ever done that. It was a massive betrayal of audience expectation.
Yeah.
It told you right then that all bets are off. You can't trust anything.
It left the audience completely vulnerable for the final definitive reveal. It's not his mother.
No.
It's Norman Bates himself. He killed his mother and her lover years ago, and his mind just snapped. He developed a split personality. He becomes his mother.
He dresses in her clothes, he talks in her voice, and he kills anyone he feels attracted to because the mother persona is jealous and controlling.
It is the perfect blend of a structural shot killing the protagonist and a terrifying identity deception. Our sources give it 100% for both originality and quality. It is simply the best.
And so much of that comes down to Anthony Perkins' mesmerizing performance and Hitchcock's just pitch-perfect, masterful direction. He controls your every emotion.
Incredible. It's just that pure delight of having your expectations totally shattered. That's what makes these movies so amazing.
Yeah, and if you look at our countdown, you see these two big themes emerge, right? It's either a twist of identity, like in Psycho or Fight Club, or it's a twist of structure.
Like Memento. And we've mostly talked about thrillers, but these things pop up everywhere. Like, think about a film like The Wicker Man.
A great example of genre subversion. You think you're watching a detective story.
Right, a cop investigating a missing girl on this weird pagan island. But the twist is that there was no missing girl. The cop was the one they wanted all along. He was the human sacrifice. It just flips the whole thing on its head.
Or you take the ghost story. We talked about The Sixth Sense, but what about the others?
Oh, good one. Where the main characters, the mother and her kids, who think they're being haunted.
They're the ghosts.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Mm.
It just completely reverses who's the victim and who's the intruder.
That's a great one. But then you have twists that become, like, bigger than the movie itself. They become part of the culture.
You're thinking of Soylent Green.
Exactly. Soylent Green is people. Everyone knows that line, even if they've never seen the movie. It's not about who the killer is. It's a twist about what society has become.
Which brings us to another kind of structural twist, one that messes with time itself, like in the movie Arrival.
Oh, that's a phenomenal example. You spend the whole movie thinking you're seeing these tragic flashbacks of the main character's daughter who died.
But they're not flashbacks at all. They're flash forwards. Glimpses of her future. Her learning the alien language allows her to perceive time differently.
And it changes everything. It means she chose to have her daughter, knowing she would lose her. It's so beautiful and heartbreaking.
And that raises a great question. Is a twist better when it changes what happened or when it changes why it happened?
Ooh. I think the best ones do both. Like The Prestige with its twists on top of twists.
The perfect cinematic magic trick.
And we can't finish without mentioning the power of a single perfect visual reveal. One shot that tells you everything.
The end of the original Planet of the Apes.
The Statue of Liberty, half buried in the sand. He wasn't on some alien planet. He was on Earth in the future the whole time. Chilling.
No dialogue needed. Just that one image.
We've covered some huge ones, but there are so many more out there.
And what our sources all seem to agree on is that the ones that last, the ones we're still talking about, are the ones where the twist feels totally earned.
So now we have to turn the question over to you. We've talked about identity, structure, time itself. Which mind-blowing twist did we miss? What movie left your jaw on the floor and forced you to hit rewind just to see how they lied to you so perfectly?
Let us know in the comments.